Welcome to the Touma Museum of Medicine, a 4,000 square foot museum of medical history in downtown Huntington, West Virginia. A diverse collection of nearly 3,000 historic medical artifacts, the museum was gifted to the Marshall University Joan C School of Medicine in 2017 by longtime Huntington physicians Drs. Joseph and Omayma Touma.
It's a museum of everyday instruments, medications that the doctors used and the patients had. It's not a history of medicine like statues of great physicians. There's no paintings. So it's the practical museum, I call it, that everybody can relate to. The way this museum was put together was very interesting. I started about 40 years ago collecting some ear trumpets because I'm an ear specialist. And after a while, I was so hooked to the history of medicine. I always love history. And this here represents the history of medicine in general. So we have it in galleries. Each gallery represents a specialty. For instance, we're sitting here in the pharmacy part. This here, for instance, is a 1910 pharmacy. It's called Lee's Pharmacy in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
The Touma Museum of Medicine stands out in many ways, but it's perhaps most unique in terms of the volume and diversity of the medical artifacts collected by Dr. Touma.
It's the number, it's the depth, it's the variety, it's the progression. If you get one piece, two pieces, five pieces of, let's say, cardiovascular, stethoscopes or whatever, fine, they look great, they are interesting, you can tell a story about them. But if you have about 20 pieces, suddenly there is progression.
A progression that vividly fosters a greater understanding of how modern medical care has evolved over the centuries. And to ensure the collection would continue to educate and enlighten for centuries yet to come, it was important for the Toumas to find the perfect, permanent caretaker.
The dean, Dr. Joseph Shapiro, is a man that I trusted, and he showed a lot of interest in getting this museum. The Marshall University Foundation did a fabulous job protecting this museum, protecting it as one unit, that it's not going to be broken to pieces or somebody is going to sell it. More importantly, to see how wise it was that we gave this museum to Marshall. As soon as they got it, they appointed Ed Zerzak from Marshall, and Ed was in charge of the medical library for over 30 years and just retired, so we got him here. It was a great opportunity. So what he's doing is he's cataloging stuff, he's researching. So that was a perfect transition to Marshall.
Every time I go to a new alcove, I find a new favorite. But one of the first ones would be the wooden stethoscopes. René Laennec, back in, I believe it was 1816 or 1820, found that if he rolled up a piece of paper, he could hear heart sounds much better than putting his ear to the chest of the patient. And he could direct that sound much better. So yeah, stethoscopes look different from that era, but they use the same principles. You can look back in history and see how instruments have changed, but for a good portion of the collection, the instruments may have changed a bit, but the principles behind them are the same.
Though Ed Zerzak is finding new favorites each and every day at the Touma Museum of Medicine, Dr. Touma finds it a lot more difficult to identify a favorite.
You love your children equally, and collecting this, each one has a story. Each one fills a specific place in the history of medicine. So really, I don't have a specific instrument or piece that I think I like more than another one. I mean, it all work together as a one unit.
One unit that now, thanks to Marshall University Joan C School of Medicine, will remain together forever, continuing to show the evolution and progression of medicine in a way that not only celebrates the past, but provides a unique glimpse at the future of medicine.
And by knowing what happened 200 years ago, 100 years ago, 50 years ago, is you understand why we are at this stage, why we are succeeding, how do you feel about the future? Knowing the past, I know the future is going to be amazing in medicine.